how does opening your eyes make something bad happen? I don't see any scenario where you open your eyes and your life just dramatically goes downhill. Tell a lie. Open your eyes in the morning, my life definitely goes like, mornings ain't for me. Don't particularly like waking up, but it's not fair.
Wow, that was dark. Real dark, real quick. Jesus.
Yeah, I just heard that another way, and I'm like, that was kind of dark.
Yeah.
I stand by it, but it was a bit dark.
By it, but it was a bit dark. So as you can see, everybody, Ellie wants to paint her nails.
Sorry, I was meant to do it before we started. I ran out of time.
And I hope you zoom in on you actually doing your nails right now, because it's like the worst timing for her, because I bet she's thinking in her mind, fuck you, Wes. Fuck you.
I didn't realise you were actually going to start the recording right now, but it's fine. It's fine. We're here. We're on time. We're mostly ready. It's all good.
Mostly ready. She's done one hand with the looks of it, but she's still working on the other hand. That's quite good, to be fair. That was in about 60 seconds. She did it that quick.
Oh, yeah, it's really messy.
Like, to be fair, that is quick.
I was in a rush to get it done before we started, but I see you already started, so it's fine.
See, it's always the best way to do it. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the podcast up to now. We've been working very hard, but we did promise you something all the way back in, I believe, in week 2 or 3, where we said we was going to start.
It was week 1.
Was it week 1?
It's the first one we did this year.
Wow. Shame on us. Shame on us. We said we was going to do a bit like a movie thing, of where this year we're going to do one movie and we're going to put it to each other, something that potentially we haven't watched before and something that maybe you guys have, and we're going to watch it and then we're just going to discuss it and give some feedback on the films. And if you want to watch along with us, watch along with us. You know, that's the whole point, to discuss what we did watch. And the film that we decided to go for, which was looking at, all I did was bring up like top 100 films, was Whiplash. That's what we decided to go for.
I would like to say here, because obviously we said, you know, if you guys haven't seen it, watch it along with us. Let us know what you think. Wes mistakenly said, it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I went to find it. It's not on Amazon Prime. It's on Netflix. So if you haven't seen it and you're wondering why you can't find it, that's probably why.
Unless you rented it on Netflix and actually paid for it. Because I bet you could still do it on Amazon. Yeah, I
couldn't find it on Prime at all. Because I was like, where the fuck did he watch it?
It was actually on Netflix. That's my bad, to be fair. But yeah, it's where it is. It's where it is. So yes, we decided to watch Whiplash, which has Joe Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man, just saying. And then it has him who did Top Gun Maverick in it, who everyone fancied for ages. Who was... What was his name on it?
Wait, who everyone fancied? Because I watched Whiplash actually earlier on today.
Yeah.
And I don't remember there being any attractive, not unattractive people, but like...
Yeah, so
no one I thought,
Miles Taylor... Miles Taylor...
Which one's that?
The one who plays the main character. He's in...
I thought he looked like Clay out of 13 Reasons Why, and I thought, I swear that's him.
No. So, Miles... Let me get him up. I think that's his name anyway. Yeah, Miles Teller. He was in the new Top Gun Maverick, and everyone fancied him for ages because of what he looked like in Top Gun. And they was like, wow, that man is beautiful. Because he's like hunky man with the mustache and everything like that. So what I'm going to do is show you a picture so you can see. Same guy, but that's how he looked in Top Gun.
Okay, he doesn't look the same there.
As what he did in Whiplash. And I think it's like 2 years in between. He looks like a grown man there, doesn't he? Like...
Yeah, in Whiplash, I honestly thought it was Clay out of 13 Reasons Why.
Like, he's a grown-ass man right there. It's completely different. But yeah, see, look, I'm going to send you one more image, which, bear in mind, I'm sending them to Ellie, so they should be on the screen. Look how different he looks.
Ooh, yeah, no, okay, there. Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, where he's flipping aviators on and all that shit, and he had proper porno tash So everyone was in love with him when Top Gun Maverick came out. But how different does he look between that movie and this movie? Crazy. Completely different.
Yeah, I would not for a second think that was the same guy.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it? The nerdy, geeky looking guy turned into Huncho or whatever they call it. I don't know what the right word is. Buff dude.
So, before I tell you, so Wes asked me before we started recording, what did you think of Whiplash? And I was like, I'm going to let everyone know at the same time. So, but before I do that, what did you think of Whiplash?
I quite liked it. Told a very interesting story about how, from my perspective, it was a bit deep, the whole meaning behind it. And it was that you're always seeking someone's approval. And especially the people that you look up to. And you would go to any stretch or means to try and make it happen. And it also shows that your own determination can sometimes kill you. There's a few good meanings throughout that whole story. And you can also tell from the story there was a lot of things that you regret whilst doing it. Puts a lot of life into perspective with that, with showing it through someone else's eyes. What did you think?
So, I got kind of bored, partway through it.
Which bit?
And just, in the middle bit where there was his drumming and the guy's going mad, and I was like, okay, we've seen this 10 times already, come on, get to the point. So I got kind of bored. And I kind of zoned out and was playing Monopoly Go on my phone and not really paying attention. And then, so the bit where he shows up and he's all bloody and his suit's ripped and whatever, and then he starts to fight with that guy. So I was like, hang on, how the fuck did we get here? So I had to rewind it.
Yeah.
And then I got lost interest again, so I had to rewind it 5 times. And normally, if I rewind something more than 3 times, I'm like, okay, my mind's not on it, I'm not watching it. But I powered through because I was like, I've got to talk about this later, so I need to watch it. It got better. I don't think it was a bad film. It's one that I'd watch again. If someone said, oh, do you want to watch Whiplash? I'd be like, yeah, cool. I don't think it was a bad film, but it was very dark all the way through, which I get because of the story. It is kind of a dark story. But yeah, I feel like there just wasn't enough in it other than the drumming, the guy being a dick. It was just give me something a bit more entertaining,
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think the end, I feel like there wasn't a real end point. He carries on drumming at the end and he's like, I'll cue you in and all this. And then the guy just kind of does a little smile and a nod and then that's it, the film's done. And I'm like, I feel like there wasn't any closure to the film.
Okay.
I understand why they did that and I understand the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it doesn't feel done,
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. And I think it's done that way on purpose because of what the story is kind of pushing you towards. Because it starts very similar to how it ends, if that makes sense. Because it starts with him being introduced to this amazing choreographer. Is that what it's called?
Choreographer? No, choreographers do dancing.
What is it for music then?
He was a conductor.
Conductor. Oh, sorry. Amazing conductor who knew everything and anything about everything. And that's exactly how it starts right at the beginning. He meets this idol of his off the bat and he's like, wow, amazing. They got maybe have the opportunity one day to play music for you. And then obviously he does get the opportunity. And then he pushes him and pushes him and pushes him and pushes him to the point of where, like you said, the car crash scene, where he basically way too far, pushed him beyond the point of perfection. And it's all centered around him trying to seek the approval of this conductor, which he was never going to get because the conductor was never going to be happy with anything that he did.
Yeah.
Unless it was perfection. And when I mean perfection, I mean like you are Slash from Guns N' Roses on a guitar, or you are Michael Jackson at singing.
Not even that, because I think the conductor says at one point in the film that there's no two words more dangerous or more something, I can't remember what he said, than good job.
There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job.
Yeah.
And it's like he's never going to say that, even if you do everything absolutely perfectly to a fucking thousandth of a beat. You are in time. That guy is never going to turn around and say good job.
He's going to say, right, next song. Every time. And that's what all he was trying to do, was seek this guy's approval. And the reason I think it hit home for me whilst watching it was anybody who works for a corporation or works or whatever, you're always trying to seek the approval of your management to know that you're doing your job right. And that's what you're constantly striving for. And in theory, it's the same thing, but obviously in a different scenario. You're just being, come on, you can do better than that. Come on, you can do better than that. Come on, you can do better than that. Instead of, you actually did well there, just change this. There's none of that. It's just like hardcore all the way through.
I mean, that guy was a proper dick, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's pushing your students and trying to make them be the best they can be. And then there's just being a prick.
Yeah.
And that guy was a dick. And obviously there's a scene later on in the film when he's like, oh, you know, the way I did that because I was trying to push people to be their best.
Truth is, I don't think people understood what it was I was doing at Schaefer. I wasn't there to conduct. Any fucking moron can wave his arms and keep people in tempo. I was there to push people beyond what's expected of them.
Like, are you really trying to make excuses for why you were that much of a prick?
Yeah.
Like, the guy saw nothing wrong with it.
Nothing.
And it's like, and plus the fact, wasn't there a student before? So he came in and said, obviously, the student, like, died last night, he was in a car crash or something, and made out like he was an amazing student. But then didn't it turn out that this guy had actually killed himself because of this guy's pressure?
No, it was two separate students.
I thought it was the same student because then the lawsuit.
No, so that was talking about someone the semester before. They're referring back to the kid. You know, the guy who we told to get out, who was playing the trumpet out of tune, but it wasn't actually out of tune, but he didn't know the difference.
Oh, was it him?
So that kid there, did decide to end it. And then...
okay, I thought it was the student he was talking about before, and I was like, hang on, so you're making out like this guy was a perfect musician, but you never told him that. And right, okay, I'm with you.
And the other...
even so, this guy was that much of a dick that one of his students did that.
Yeah.
And even so, like, all this time later, however long after it is when it, like, skips forward a bit, it's like, you still don't see that you're the problem? Really?
Yeah.
Because I think everyone else here can see that you're the problem.
There's also bits in the movie which he's definitely a narcissist. That's definitely one thing that he is. Because it doesn't tell you in the story that he steals the workbook at the beginning from when he leaves it on the chair. But he does.
Wait, how did we find that out? I missed this bit. I missed a lot.
So the only way you know is when you get to the bit where they're in the jazz club together. And he says, the only reason that you did get the part was because of the book going missing. Things never happen by accident. They always happen for a reason to do with something. Basically implying that he took the book to put him in first chair anyway. So that was the intention.
I didn't catch that.
So in a way, it was telling him that he was right for the job and he was doing the job properly.
Yeah, but then he replaced him like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then in the same thing in the jazz club, he's going, oh, I did that to try and better you. That was his excuse. It was his comfort blanket to say, well, I tried to do this. I tried to do this to do you better.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, behind all of that, he was actually still being a narcissist. Because he knew that during the court scene, he was the one that snitched him up, which he tells you when you get on the stage at the end.
Yeah.
So it's
I know, the guy's a dick, but I have
Yeah.
to say he does have some very funny one-liners.
Oh,
So
he
have you
does.
seen Scrubs?
Yes.
He reminds me a lot of Dr. Cox. So his rants and his insults are not as long as Dr. Cox is, but they're just as effective, and I loved it.
The
And
passive
that,
aggressive.
like, yeah, and like the ginger kid who he replaces the main guy with,
Yeah.
when he's like, "You do look a bit like a leprechaun. I'm going to start calling you like Flannery or something."
Yeah.
I creased at that bit. I was like, "That's great."
Man, the homophobic jokes that he
So many.
There was
Like he
so
walks into the class
many.
and goes, "Right, cocksuckers." It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's how he starts with a bunch of college students. And it's not even that. It's like one of them's on the trumpets or something. And he's like, what does he say? He says something along the lines of, you need to be pumping harder than that. It's not your fucking boyfriend you're jerking off here or some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what?
Way to inspire you students.
Yeah.
Although you say that, I had a teacher like that at secondary school. Not quite as bad, but he was very sweary and kind of a dick. But most of the students, I hated him before I was actually in his class.
Yeah.
Because when I used to get like sent out of history or something, I'd get sent to him because he was the head of the department.
Yeah. A lot of
And I was
teachers
terrified
like
of him.
that.
I was terrified of him and I hated him. And then I took sociology and he taught that as well. And I was in his class. And honestly, he was great. He was a dick and he pushed his students, kind of similar to this, not quite in the same way, but a little bit similar. But people respected him for it. But I think it's how you do it. Like he'd say, if someone was talking in his lesson, he'd be like, "Do you want to be here?" And you'd be like, "Yeah." "Right, well, shut up then, or get out."
Yeah.
And like you'd talk again, and he'd go, "Right, fuck off." And you'd try and say something. He's like, "No, get out of my class now. Fucking move." Like, oh, okay. But it was effective. But it's how you do it. But he'd also have a bit of a joke with the students. He'd tell you when you'd done good, even though he'd push you and tell you it wasn't good enough. And then you hand in the final bit and you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, he's going to fail me." And then he'd be like, "No, you did really good." And like he drove me mad over one of my papers once. I spent probably the longest amount I've ever spent on any single piece of schoolwork, right? And he kept telling me it was wrong and it wasn't good enough. And I was in tears. I was like, I fucking hate this guy. And I took it in and he was like, gave it an A and was like, "Yeah, this is great." And then he was like, "So what did you do differently from the first one?" And I'm pointing out all these things. And he's like, "No, you didn't do that much differently. The first one was fine. But why did you believe me when I told you this needed changing, that needed changing? You knew it didn't because you didn't do it." And I'm like, "Are you taking the piss right now?" Like, I spent hours doing all this and you're telling me the first one was fine anyway. Fucking dick. But
dick.
it kind of worked with some of the students that he had in the class and the types of students they were. It was effective. But this guy in the film just took it way too far and didn't know when to stop.
I think that end scene is awesome. And the only reason is because when he says to him, "Right, we're going to do a new song that we haven't done before. It's called this." Right? And he's like, "Fuck, he's proper fucked me." And he walks over to him and he goes, "I know it was fucking you." And then fucking walks back.
That's such a dick thing to do though, because he literally said people in this room like have the ability to change your future.
Yeah, so he's
and
trying
if you
to
mess
fuck it up.
you will never be a musician again because these people don't forget.
And that's exactly
and then
what
he
he was
fucks
doing.
over his chances. And I'm like, whoa, bro, like, I know you're salty about losing your job and that, but Jesus, come on.
Yeah, like proper ham. But then it's when he walks off stage and then just comes back and he's like, "Fuck this guy. Two can play this game." And then starts playing the drums into Whiplash, which was fucking good, may I add.
Well, so I like that happened, and I do like that scene. But you know the bit, so he plays the first song.
Yeah.
When he comes back, and then the drummers just keep going and going and going. And then the guy comes over and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "I'll cue you in." And then they go into the second song.
Yeah.
That bit in the middle, I just feel like went on for too long. Like, I get it, you're doing a cool drum solo.
Yes.
But it also went on for like 8 minutes.
It did go on for like 8 minutes. It was long. It was definitely long. That bit was long. And
I was like, can we just move it on here, guys? Come on.
maybe for someone who enjoys drums and stuff, will probably go, "Wow, that was dead cool." Like, but for the average viewer, it went on a long time.
Yeah.
A long time. But you got the meaning from it. You probably could have got the same meaning within 3 minutes instead of 8.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
But I feel like the movie was lacking on that a lot, though, like the entertainment side of it.
Yeah.
Movies are part of the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
They're there to entertain. I get the story, I get the meaning, I think it was good. I think it was dark and it was meant to be, and that came across well. But it just lacked a little bit on the entertainment side for me.
So, okay. What we're going to do is give our scores, and we're just going to quickly compare them against just other ones out there. So we're just going to compare it. So we'll do a percentage, which can also be like, for example, out of 10 anyway, it's still the same. And then I'll tell you what the ratings are from everywhere else as well. So,
okay, are we rating it on different things or just as a whole?
As a whole. So if we rate it as a whole, as a story, as an entertainment factor, music, picture, quality, the whole charade, what would you rate it? Either out of 10 or you can do it out of a percentage, either or.
Can we do decimals, like half points?
Yep. You can go all the way to
6.5 because I feel like 6 is too low, but 7's too high.
Okay. So that's just an overall for that film. You put it as a 6.5.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd go a bit higher. Maybe because I kind of liked the story, maybe, that was in it. Granted, the entertainment factor wasn't there, but I wouldn't go much higher. I'd go 7.5. That's where I would go. So IMBD rated it an 8.5. The metric gave it 89%, so an 8.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 94%.
I feel like Rotten Tomatoes, I never trust their ratings though. Because some of like, especially with the Marvel films, some of the ones that everyone kind of hates and says are really shit, they rate higher than some of the ones that everyone really likes. And I'm like...
Yeah, there's no consistency sometimes with Rotten Tomatoes. But
yeah, like they will rate really shit films really high and really good films really low.
Yeah, so for example, their score from them as writer, as the department or whatever, have done 94%, and then audience, which is me and you that have gone on Rotten Tomatoes, have also done 94%.
Damn. Yeah, it's definitely not the worst film I've seen.
No.
Eternals is the worst film I've seen.
That was awful.
It was the worst thing I've ever suffered through. I got bored and started building a house on The Sims like 10 minutes into it.
It was so boring. It
Really
was
shit.
just...
And the worst bit is...
bad.
Going forward in Marvel, I'm probably going to have to watch it again at some point. And I don't want to do that.
The only thing that I could see from watching that film is... I think, as regards to like Oscars and stuff like that, you could see that winning Oscars, if that makes sense.
I couldn't.
I could definitely see that for that type of film. I just feel like they're the type of films that win Oscars. They can be a little bit boring, but the picture's really good. It's got a bit of a like really deep, dark back story behind it, and that's kind of where I see it. That's the type of film that it would be.
Well, I mean, it's a Marvel film, so let's be honest, the production value is going to be up there.
Oh, sorry, it's on about Whiplash.
Oh, okay.
Not
I was on about the
Eternals.
Eternals. Oh, okay. When you said I could see it winning Oscars, I was like, I couldn't.
No, Eternals.
Yeah, Whiplash, I could.
Yeah. It's not just
I think the acting was great.
Yeah.
The acting was really good. Although that girl that was in it for like a little bit that he dated a bit and then broke up with and then called later on, I thought her acting was a bit poor, but she wasn't a main character, so it doesn't matter too much.
No. Have you got any ideas for the next film that you'd like to do? I know I said a few to you. We was just talking at the beginning.
I have no idea. I can give you films that I think we could talk about, but they will be films that I've seen because I can't name any that I've not seen, unless they're ones that I know I can't watch because of my phobias.
Okay. What type of film do you want to go for? And we can pick off a genre.
I don't know. It's
Actually,
easier if you just pick and I just
I'm going to
check
pick
them
one.
out, see if they're safe to watch.
I'm going to pick one now.
Okay.
Right, it's on Netflix as well. It's definitely on Netflix. Have you watched Bullet Train?
No, but the name rings a bell.
It's got Brad Pitt in it.
Oh.
I don't know if you can check it against your group.
Yeah, I'm just going to check it now, see if it's doable. It's really annoying having a phobia because it's like everything I watch. TV shows are the worst. I have to check every episode.
Every episode, one by one.
Yep.
You watch Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, there's a lot in that. So I watched
what
that
I mean.
a long time ago. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. We actually spoke about this a lot, like a few episodes ago. So, you know,
why can't I remember?
But because you're stupid.
Oh, fair enough.
But no, we definitely did like a big thing about it. And you said about Clay in the church and that scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank Lord for the that is so funny, that is. I love that
I've seen it. I really wanted to watch it again, but I checked it like for my phobia a couple of weeks ago and I was like, I can't. Like, I watched it before my phobia got this bad. Now I don't think I could. There's a lot of it. Like, so I checked it out and where it says, does this happen? Someone's just put a lot, best to avoid. Like, they didn't even write which episodes, timestamps, where most TV shows do. So I'm guessing it's just everywhere.
We'll go through this in a short period of time.
That one that you said about is going to have to be a no.
A no.
It happens at least 4 times. All of the scenes are terrible.
Okay. I will find one, but we are going to move on to the next bit of our thing.
I could potentially watch it if I'm with someone who is willing to pause it, let me know when it's safe. But considering how much it is, I'm probably just going to be on edge the whole time. So
yeah. Well, we said we was going to talk about phobias. Did we not?
We did.
We did. She wanted to do it in the second part, but we've spoke about a lot of phobias already. So he seems
very off guard here.
He just seems very fitting to talk about it right now. As soon as we're going on about phobias, it seems like, why should we go away from it to then come back? It just seems like that. That's all. So there's some funny phobias out there, right? And this is some of that we was talking about, some weird and wacky ones. There's some that are obviously really serious, and obviously there's bits all in between. Now, like I said right before we started filming, was I have arachnophobia. I am terrified of spiders. Absolutely terrified. They could be the size of a pea, or they could be the size of a flipping plant pot. It does not matter what size it is. I am terrified. I can't go near it. I freeze when I get near them. I have to call my best friend round to my house to come and kill them and exterminate them. I can't even kill them. It's that bad. I literally freeze up like a deer in headlights. It is awful. But I know a lot of people have that one. It's so common now that people hate spiders. Some people react differently to it, but I know it all kind of just depends on what you do or don't like. I know the severities that go along with it, but I hate spiders with a passion.
So I feel like that's a pretty normal one, though. That's a very common one. Like, if you say arachnophobia to people, they know what that is.
Yeah.
So I feel like my phobia is a bit like that. I think it's a lot more common than a lot of them out there. But a lot of people don't know what it is.
Okay.
So I may have mentioned it before when we were talking about the films, but mine's emetophobia.
Yeah.
So I hate saying the words, but I'm going to have to. It's a fear of being sick. or seeing anyone else or hearing it. It's different for other people. So for me, it's like hearing it, seeing it. Don't particularly like talking about it or when people talk about it to me. Yeah, just no. So, but it's quite common. I didn't realise this until quite recently. It's quite a common one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people in, like you were saying before, there's groups and stuff for it, isn't there? And there's like a way.
Yeah,
that
so
you
there's a
can
group
test
that I'm
on.
in that's just called Emetophobia TV and Movie Warnings. So when new films come out and people go to the cinema to see them, they'll post in the group, hey, this one's safe, or hey, this one's got a bit just as this happens, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can check films and TV shows on there, or there's a really good website called Does the Dog Die? And they will tell you like anything that could possibly be triggering.
Yeah.
And some of them are kind of weird as well. Like, not to shit on anyone's phobias here, like, sorry if you have this one, but I find it kind of odd. So there's things like, does a child's toy get broken? Like, some people are scared of seeing that or they get triggered by it.
Wow.
Or there's things like, is there shaving or cutting? And they're like, yeah, a man shaves his face at however many minutes in, and like, people are scared of seeing that shit. And I'm like, wow, I thought I was weird.
Do you reckon it's the noise?
Probably.
Because scissors and like cutthroat razors have like a very distinct noise against like shaving or even cutting paper. They have that very metallic-y noise or a scrapey
Yeah, I hate
noise.
the noise of scissors cutting like wrapping paper or something, and like the gliding. Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
Oh, I thought it was satisfying.
Like, it's not a phobia, I just hate it. It's a really irritating noise.
So, you with your phobia, and I'll say it as that so I'm not triggering as much as possible. Do you find it difficult in everyday life then?
Oh, 100%. It affects absolutely everything.
Because for me, obviously, just seeing spiders, I can just like turn to someone and go, can you just kill that spider, please? You know, I couldn't watch them on Facebook, couldn't do anything like that, or look at pictures, can't do none of that, because it's horrible. And even when you watch the Aragon scene on Harry Potter, I can't watch it. It's horrible. It makes all my skin crawl. It's vile. I can't watch it. And when all the little baby spiders are running after her, I can't watch it. I just can't do it. It's my worst fear. And I won't go into any woods because of that reason as well. I'm terrified that there's going to be a giant Aragon in the woods.
I'm guessing that's like a giant spider.
He's giant. He's massive.
Okay.
Yeah. So
no, for me, it's mainly like around food. So obviously, we always joke about how I'm a fussy eater, and I am. I have been since I was a kid. But a lot of that is to do with my emetophobia. So seafood is out because it's like the biggest cause of like food poisoning.
Okay.
So I don't do seafood. Any sort of like fresh meats, like chicken, beef, any of that stuff, not a fan. Because I'm always paranoid it's not cooked enough, even though I know it is, and I can check it with a meat thermometer and I can see that it's cooked. It just makes me panic. And even though I know it's fine, I'll eat it. And then an hour later, I'll get a bit of bellyache or whatever, and then I'm just in full panic mode because I'm like, oh my God, I've got food poisoning. And so I just don't really do it. Preparing meals is the worst. And eating, as you know, the amount of hand gel that I go through.
Loads.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I'll wash my hands. So if I'm going to eat, I have a set rules, right? Before I eat, I wash my hands. If I've washed my hands within 20 minutes, I won't rewash them, but I will use hand gel. If it's been longer than 20 minutes since I last washed my hands, I'll have to wash them again. But I'll also use hand gel if I touch anything. So if I'm eating a burger and chips, you'll see I'll gel my hands, wait for it to dry, pick up my burger, bite that, and then say I need my drink or something. If I pick my drink up with my left hand, that hand is now out of play for food because it's touched something else. So I've either got to re-gel that hand or only eat with my right. So I don't know if it's noticeable when you eat with me.
Yes.
But I'll sit with one hand like that, or like just down on my knee or something. So I'm like, this one's out of play. I can't use that one. I can only use this one because this one's been gelled and it hasn't touched anything since the gel. If I gel my hands and then carry my plate through, I've touched the plate, so I need to gel my hands again. And it's so stressful, and this is why preparing meals is impossible. Because every time I touch a cupboard, got to wash your hands or gel them again. Every time I touch a drawer or a spoon or a fork or anything like that, I've got to gel them. I won't touch a fork and eat with it and then put the fork down and then pick up a chip, even though I know that chip's been on the fork, so it's fine. But I won't do it because my hand's now contaminated.
So
and I know it's irrational.
So
it's there.
There is a fear for that, though, isn't there?
Because being a germaphobe,
I would say that's very close to that.
It is and it isn't, because it's not. If someone's got a cold, if you say to me, I'm ill, but, you know, I can still come today or whatever, if we're going out somewhere, I say, what's wrong with you? And you say, oh, I got a bit of a cold. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. If it's a bug or anything that's made you ill in that way, I ain't seen you for 2 weeks. So one of my best friends years ago, she was pregnant, had morning sickness. And she rang me one morning saying she'd been ill, and I was meant to obviously see her. And I was like, bitch, I can't see you for 2 weeks. She's like, what? It's morning sickness, Ellie, I'm pregnant. I'm like, but can you be pregnant and also have a bug? Well, yeah, but... Right, so how do you know which one it is? I ain't seen you for 2 weeks, okay? I'm not doing it.
Well, she has morning sickness every day until the
She had it
born.
A lot in the first trimester, and I was like, I'll see you when I see you.
I can imagine that. Now, I know firsthand you can notice it. You get used to it very quickly, as in someone who sits with you and eats with you. I can remember the first time we sat and had a meal, and I thought it was weird. I was like, why is Ellie doing that? Yeah, I remember you and
Bill like questioning me on loads of stuff, and I was like, just let me eat my damn food.
That wasn't even the first time. That was the second time. Because the first time
it was because I saw you the first time.
Yeah. And what did Bill say to you? Bill said, oh, Wes did tell me you use loads of hand sanitizer when you're at the table. I was like, yeah, Bill,
I love that this is what I'm known for.
I was like, don't really mention it. It's not,
she's such a nice person, or she's so funny. It's just she uses a shit ton of hand gel.
And the thing is, you notice it, but then after a couple of minutes, you don't really notice it. You just go, oh, it's Ellie. Oh, it's Ellie. It's just Ellie.
I would say that is kind of a weird phobia, and I can laugh about it a bit. It affects literally everything I do. So until I was on the medication that I'm on now, I used to take ondansetron, which is like an anti-sickness medication or anti-nausea or whatever it is. And anytime I'd get bellyache, anytime I'd feel a little bit something was wrong, I would run to that. It was my safety net.
Yeah.
I think in America it's called Zofran or Zofran. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I'd run to that and I can't have it anymore. And it's been hell because I get bellyache now and I'm like, this is it. This is how I die. Goodbye, world. I can't have it. And I've been fine. But I can't have it and it stresses me out.
So I also have a question on this because I think it is really interesting. And I think it's also answering what people would want to know as well. So is the fear is it of being, or is it of being ill, or is it of being it, or doing it?
Yeah, the second one. So it's different for a lot. So a lot of people are just worried about if they can catch it and if they can get ill. If it's something like food poisoning, although some food poisonings are contagious. But if it's things like that, or it's children or whatever, they're not overly bothered about it. For me, it's all of it.
Yeah.
And being a parent someday scares the fuck out of me because I'm like, if my kid's ill, obviously they want their mom, they want comfort and reassurance. And honestly, I'd probably just lock them in a room for 2 weeks, chuck them a piece of bread every now and then and be like, fend for yourself, bro. I ain't coming near you. And I know that realistically you can't do that.
Yeah. Do you reckon you would overcome that at that stage, though, if you had to push yourself through it?
I feel like you'd have to. It terrifies the hell out of me, but I know I want kids someday. So I'm like, I've either got to just man the fuck up and do it.
Yeah, but that's easy to say, though, isn't it? Someone like me saying that to you, it's very easy to say because I don't have the phobia. It would be like someone saying to me, and this is the only way I can really compare it, go and play with the spiders. No.
I think I'd struggle massively, but I think a big thing for me with it is I don't want to pass this fear on to any future kids that I have.
Yes, that's
so I think
smart.
The hardest point about it would be trying to manage it without showing my fear.
Yeah, I get that. I do.
That'd be the hardest thing. But I think, like, for you, with your fear of spiders, one of my friends, she had a little girl who was terrified of spiders. She woke up one night, there was one in her room, and she cried, and since then she's just been terrified of them, right? And my friend is also terrified of spiders, and I mean, like you, terrified.
Yeah.
Hates them, won't watch videos on them or anything like that.
Nah, horrible.
And she was trying to get her daughter over the fear. And I remember we were out shopping once, and we were in the shopping centre, and you know the doors that, like, the electric doors, but they're like open, not slide.
Yeah.
They were open. We went out to, like, the smoking bit, and the doors were open. There was a cobweb and a spider, like, in the, like, crack of the door.
Yeah.
And she was shaking like mad, but she's like, come here, come and see it. Look, it's not going to hurt you. And she's like crouched down, showing her kid the spider and like trying to get her over her fear. And I could see her eyes were like tearing up. She was shaking. And I thought, do you know what, girl? Good on you.
Yeah.
Because she was like really trying to help her kid, but I could see the fear in her. And I was like, I couldn't do that.
No, with anything like that, it'd be so difficult because, especially with children, you see it, and I've seen it on this. I watch on YouTube, Outdoor Boys YouTube channel. Now he's massive at the minute. He's got like 10 million subscribers. He's been all over TikTok. Loads of people watch him. He's dead good. He's just like a bloke that does like camping, exploring videos, all that type of thing. And he's got 3 little boys. One's like 9, one's like 6, and the other one's like 2. But they'll do anything. They'll go and pick up spiders in the wild. They'll go and pick up lizards. They'll pick up snakes and throw them, and they don't care.
That's mean.
Like, my point is,
the kids aren't scared of anything.
Yeah,
like,
the only thing that causes a fear is what's put into you. I think that's what most of it is, because that's how you naturally get a fear. If you can overcome it, you'll be fine. But it's overcoming that fear originally that's the hard point. Because it's like pushing yourself, especially like my mum's terrified of spiders. I grew up with my mum, and I was like, nah, I hate spiders, hate spiders. Even to the point now where she's not even afraid of spiders, and I'm absolutely terrified, and I'm a 25-year-old man who lives on his own, terrified of spiders, calls his mate to come and get him. Come and get the big nasty ones out of my ass.
But I think, like, fear is such a strong thing, though, because it's like, you know, when people say, oh, just get over it, or I can't hurt you, or whatever. So I have a really weird fear. I don't even know if it's got a name. I don't know if it's a thing. I am terrified of hoovers, or for Americans, vacuum cleaners. Terrified.
I'm sorry,
like, little handheld ones.
That one.
Everyone does. It's fine.
It
makes no sense. Little handheld ones, they're as long as I know they're there and whatever, I can see it, it's fine. But you pull out a big fucking Dyson Super 600 shit thing, let me get out of the room before you turn that shit on, because I ain't being here. I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm not. I was at work once, and the cleaner who used to come in on a Friday, so he'd come in at like 3 o'clock because the students left early on a Friday, and obviously we were there till 5. And he knew when he hoovered our office, he had to come in and tell me, I'm going to hoover in here. Do you want to move into the other office? And I'd move my stuff and go in there. He was off 1 week, so the agency sent like someone else who obviously didn't know. I didn't know that it was a different person. I've got my like earphones in, just blasting music, like chilling, doing my work on my laptop, and my back turned to the door. I heard this hoover come on. I flung my chair backwards, fell out of it, did like a little backwards roll and just bolted out the door. I was like, how dare you fucking come in my office and turn that on? How do you know who I am? But my heart was going like, and that's what fear does though. It makes your heart go, like your head goes. I don't know if you get it with spiders, but I get it when someone's like being ill, or I think someone's going to be ill or whatever. It feels like my head's just been pumped full of warm air, and it's just kind of, ooh.
I know
it feels like someone's got a bike pump in my ear.
Yeah.
And like you go dizzy, your head goes hot, like your face just burns up.
Literally, I get terrified. You get frozen. That's how I feel. Freeze.
Yeah, and like it's just such a strong thing. And when people say, "Oh, it's not going to hurt you," or "You can't catch it," or whatever, it doesn't matter in that moment. It does not matter.
See, I feel like if you really wanted to, you could make an early Olympics with this. What you would do is You'd put her up against all normal human beings like Usain Bolt. You just follow her with an Hoover.
Wait, I'd beat all of them. I mean, I would die because I am the most unfit person in the world. But trust me, Usain Bolt, he ain't doing shit.
You versus the Hoover.
I think my biggest fear in the world, never going to happen, my biggest fear is a dentist who's got a stomach bug and a Hoover.
Wow. Well, technically, he has a Hoover.
I think
Hoover.
I would simply just die on the spot. Like, I don't think I'd run. I don't think I'd cry. I think I would just have a heart attack and I'd just be gone.
There is also one more fear I have. Two actually. Heights as a general. I just don't like being... I want to know I'm secure and safe if I'm up high. So I reckon if I was in a big building, like sturdy, everything such as that, I think I'd be fine. But, you know, like if you go on anything like a Ferris wheel at a fair or anything like that, which seems a bit rickety and it's like...
It's like the swinging motion of the cars on them as well.
And I'm like...
I'm not scared of heights, but I don't like that feeling.
Yeah, could die here type of scenario. Or if you go up like Blackpool Tower and then you step on the glass bit where you can see right below you and you're like, don't fancy that if I'm honest. Them little things trigger me. But maybe not heights as a whole, because I don't mind when I'm on an aeroplane. I don't care. I feel safe. Yeah. But like...
See, heights don't bother me. I did a skydive.
Could not do that.
And they were like, you know, is anyone scared of heights and whatever? Like, they do like a full check thing beforehand and check if anyone's going to have a bit of anxiety while they're up there or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not scared of heights. It's fine. Got in the plane, and as you're like, so obviously the door thing's open and you're looking out and you're looking down, you're like, okay, this is new. This is a new feeling. But in my mind, it was just like, well, I'm here now. Like, you know, got to go down somehow. You know, I'd rather do a parachute. So,
and I ain't going down with the guys in the plane.
Like, fuck it, let's go. And it was fine. The only bad thing about the skydive, and it sounds so stupid, it really hurt my face because the air pressure. Because they tell you to scream on the way down. So they're like, even if you're not scared, just scream because you have to get some of the air out. Because obviously that air's going in, you've got to get it out. So as soon as you jump, scream. Just scream, you'll be fine. So you jump out and you scream in. I wasn't really scared, to be fair. But the pressure of the air on your face, it felt like 1,000 little slaps. like that's the best way to describe it. It's not like one big slap. It's like 1,000 little, like someone's just tapping your face for a really long time, but like it stings.
That's the air when particles, you get, like, that's real life science.
Like, it hurt.
That's real
like
life
a lot.
Science.
I landed and my mum was like, oh, how did you get on? Did you love it? I was like, it was great. My face really hurt.
See, that's how
and obviously once you get into it, like you're smiling because you're having fun or whatever. And then this bit of your face hurts. Like, you know when you laugh for too long and your face hurts from it?
Yeah.
It was like that because you're smiling, but the air's like pushing it back. So you're like,
wow. I couldn't do that, and I couldn't do a bungee cord either. Because I
don't think I'd like a bungee.
No, I'd think it would fail. And the same with the parachute, I think it'd fail.
Well, the parachute should have a backup.
What happens if the backup fails?
It's very unlikely, isn't it?
I know, but still, that's the thought that goes through my mind. And I calculate it as well. I'm like,
So my mum and dad were like, I don't get why you'd want to do a skydive because you're in a plane that's perfectly safe and you're choosing to jump out of it. And I'm like, the way I see it, right, you're doing a skydive. If your parachute fails, okay, yeah, you've got a backup. If that one fails, it's like, well, what are you going to do? Like, you're already here. What are you going to do? You're going to hit the ground and not know about it anyway. So why am I bothered? It's not like I'm going to be in pain. It's going to be a long, drawn-out thing. Like, I'm going to enjoy the scenery and then bang. I'm not really going to know about it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I know that's a very dark way of looking at it, but it was like, you're already falling. Your parachute's not working. What can you do about it? What's the point in crying about it?
Yeah,
You
wouldn't.
fucked anyway.
Yeah. All it would happen, it was until you only break your legs, and that's the only
Oh,
thing
that would be the
happens.
worst.
Because it has happened, hasn't it? Where they've only
Oh, yeah.
broke their legs and they actually haven't actually died from it.
Or where the parachute's like open, but it's ripped or something, so they go down too fast, but it doesn't kill them. That would be the worst.
Yeah. You wouldn't want that to happen.
No. Not at all.
No.
Knowing my luck, that if that was going to happen to anyone, it'd be me.
I feel like I'm always that person that it would be unlucky for. I'm like, no. I'm trying to think of any more. I did have another one, but I forgot it. Because it's got to be dead common, surely.
Just think, what you scared of?
I don't know now, I'm thinking about it. I did have two, but I can't remember what the other one was. But it was related to all of what we were speaking about. You know what? When it just...
Public speaking.
No, I'm fine
I'm
with
just going to reel off some common
Public
ones here.
speaking, easy.
Fear of missing out.
No, not really.
Fear of dying.
No.
Fear of hospitals.
No.
Fear of needles.
Don't like needles, but I've not got a fear of them.
I don't know. I'm out of common ones.
I know, I'm just trying to think.
How can you forget what you're scared of?
I don't know, because I was thinking about it. And you know, like how you pre-talk in your head before you say something?
I do that all the time. And I'm like, I've told you this. And I'm like, no, you didn't. I'm like, did I think it?
Yeah.
I know I've said it, but I probably didn't say it out loud. But...
Yeah. Some crazy fucking phobias out there. Like, literally, honestly, literally doing 2 minutes of research on phobias, and there is so many, right? Like, even crazy ones. Like, you would not believe some of the fucking phobias that we've just found. And why do Americans always have to take it a step further? So shit you not, right? Me and Ellie was just looking at the fucking Murray show, right? Which is like the Jeremy Kyle-ish of fucking America. There's about 3 or 4 different ones. There's Jerry Springer as well in there and fucking shit like that. But she's scared of pickles. So they send her to a pickle factory.
So we sent her to the Patterson Pickle Factory, where she would come face to face with thousands upon thousands of pickles.
And they just force her in. And she's like cornered in the middle of this factory. They're just putting pickles in her face.
That is evil, though.
That was bad, wasn't it? And then, the flipping olive woman, scared of olives. And then they bring the olives out and she starts legging it.
She's like running around the back of the backstage. And Wes like, she's doing fucking tack stands, like checking around the corners.
Terrified.
That is evil though, because if someone did that to me, like with a Hoover or someone who was ill, or like going to be ill or something, and they were chasing me, I would be exactly the same.
If you want Ellie out of your house, get the Hoover and chase her.
Or don't do that.
Get out of my house.
Don't ever do that.
Chase
My
the
mum
Hoover.
knows, like, so when I go down to get a drink in the morning and she's like hoovering the hallway or whatever, I'll just stand at the top of the stairs waiting for her to turn the Hoover off. And she'll see me and she'll turn it off and she'll be like, hurry up then, and wait for me to go past.
So you stand there like you're queuing up for your lunch.
Yeah, like I just stand there waiting like...
And you're like, I am here, Mom.
The amount of times I've been trapped in a room though, if she's hoovering the hallway, like say she's in the front room or something, I've gone through to the kitchen to get a drink, and then she's come out and started hoovering the hallway, and I'm like, well, guess I live here now.
What about when it's your room?
She does it when I'm out.
Smart move.
So this is why I want, like, what's it called? Like wood flooring or a hard floor, basically.
Sweep up.
Yeah, like laminate, because then I can just sweep it.
Mop it.
But I've got a black carpet, which is the worst.
See every bit of dirt in a black carpet.
So I've got a really bad habit of picking my nail polish off as well. So this nail polish, give it 2-3 hours and I'll be like picking it off and I peel it. And I'm like, what? And I try and like put it somewhere just to chuck it away. I don't know why I do it. I do it when I'm watching TV or something. I don't notice I'm doing it half the time. But then, obviously, I wear, like, white nail polish or light blue, or you can just see it on the carpet, like, if it's not quite made it into whatever I put it in to chuck it away. It's just there. But she usually does it when I'm away at the weekends when I'm at my partner's.
And this is because Ellie is a good mix between e-girl, or whatever they're flipping called, and then actually a girly girl, but then would probably beat you in a fight.
Oh, 100%. I am not strong at all. I don't know how to fight. I don't know any fighting stances. But you pump me up on adrenaline, I am fucking everyone up. And I had this conversation with a friend who was like, oh, you won't be able to fight me or whatever. And I was like, I promise you, if it was play fighting, no, because I'm not angry. But if I get a hint of adrenaline,
crazy motherfucker,
I don't feel anything. I don't know what's going on. Did it in school, right? Had a rough day. It was a bad day, right? I was angry. My head of year was an absolute bitch, right? She's making me more angry.
Bitch.
So I'm like, right, something's getting punched, and if you don't move, it's going to be you. Like, I'm happy to go for the wall, but if you don't fucking move, right? So she, like, follows me into the toilets. And I'm like, I need to hit something. And this is the angriest I've ever been, right? Like, it's not like me to just be aggressive, but I'm like, you know, it's got to come out. So I locked myself in the cubicle, shut the door, and she's on the other side of it, just, like, riling me up. Right? So I just start going mad at the door. I'm headbutting it, I'm punching it, I'm kicking it. I am literally bang, 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 bang. The door falls off its hinges, and obviously she's there. She fucking ran. Because she knew. Because I kept saying to her, I was like, you need to fucking move now. Like, she ran. And then the toilets were next to this guy's office, who I don't know what his job was. He was a teacher of some sort. But he basically sat in that room all day watching the security cameras. But it was right next to the girls' toilets. And the toilets didn't have like a door on. It was open to the hallway, but obviously the cubicles had a door on.
Yeah.
And he came over to see what was going on, saw me and was like, I ain't fucking with this. So he goes, calls like the behaviour management team. They come down and get me. And obviously they're trained to like handle students who are having a rough day. So they're fine with me. I sit in their office for a bit and like I'm calming down. And then she was like, oh, you're going to have to go to hospital to have that knuckle looked at. And obviously I hadn't seen it or known what was really going on at this point. I looked down and I shit you not, I've never seen anything like it. It was raised like up here.
Fucking hell.
Right? It was, so you know how you get like the 4 bobbly bits?
Yeah.
It was completely flat over the top. Like a really dark purpley colour. And there was like bits of plastic stuck from the door. So it was all bleeding and yeah, there was like bits of plastic like sticking out of it. Like, you know, that chipped off plastic. It's like wood and then it's coated in plastic. All that was stuck in it. I looked down at it and I just started crying. I was like, what the like now I've seen it, it hurts. Went to the hospital, they x-rayed it, but they were like, it's too, like, it's full of fluid. We can't actually see the bone. So, you know, go home, ice it, try and keep it rested. Like, don't use it too much, but also don't keep it still because if it's not broke, you want to keep moving it. And come back in like, I think they said like 2 or 3 weeks. I never went back, and it is very out of place. So you can tell that hand, my hands are disgusting, but you know how you've got like those line bits? I don't know what are they tendons? I don't really know what they are.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have it. That knuckle's just completely sank. So it doesn't have one of those things in it. It's just like, so I don't have a knuckle. It's weird. Probably should have gone back in hindsight, but yeah, you pumped me full of adrenaline.
And that's
I'm doing
because you
some
wanted
damage.
to fuck up a teacher.
Oh, she was an absolute bitch, though. She deserved it.
Standard with most teachers, to be fair.
I kind of wish I had hit her, but I'm also very glad I didn't, because I know if I had, I wouldn't have stopped. In that moment, I would not have stopped.
Fuck that motherfucker.
She was awful. If you've been watching us for a while, you've seen some of our other episodes, you'll probably remember me mentioning this bitch before. She was the one who tried to steal my necklace.
Oh, fucking bitch.
Same one. Anyway, back to phobias.
Back to phobias. You'll be on
So
Jezza.
yeah, we found some, I want to say funny, but that seems kind of offensive to anyone who might have them. But if we're being honest, they are kind of funny. And you've got to learn to laugh at yourself, guys. So if you have these phobias, I'm sorry, but they're funny, okay? They just are. I don't know how to pronounce any of them, though.
So the one that we'll talk about first is the holes one. Because I think that's interesting.
Very common.
Yeah.
It's definitely weird, but it's very common.
Is it even a thing?
Yeah. Trypophobia. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah, and what's the description for it?
Refers to disgust or fear of a pattern of holes. Seeing clusters of holes in foods, flowers, and everyday items like sponges can trigger feelings of revulsion. Trypophobia is gaining recognition as an anxiety problem that can affect quality of life.
Yeah, because it's that one that you used to see. Maybe, when we first had Facebook?
Yeah, you clicked on the picture and when it got bigger, it was that, and it used to freak everyone out.
Yeah, because it was like someone's hand like that, but with loads of holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it's a bit grim, but I wouldn't say I have a fear of it, but it's very common.
A fear of basically tiny little holes.
I would show you guys pictures, but I don't want to trigger anyone because I know that's a common one, so don't worry, guys. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, that. Because I just don't think it would ever happen.
Like, looking at some of the pictures, yeah, okay, they're a bit unsettling. But it doesn't trigger anything in me. Like, if I had a heart rate monitor on now, I mean, it's not going to go up because of that.
1 second. Simon Cowell.
Oh my God, 160.
So if I just show you a picture of him, so this is not on...
Yeah, like it's... Like, on the pictures of it, there's even strawberries. You know how they have those tiny little... They're not even really holes, they're just kind of like little dents.
Seeds. That's where all the little seeds are.
Yeah, but that's part of it.
Weird. Won't bother me.
Odd.
That would not bother me. Not even a little bit. So
well, there's one here, I have no idea how you say it. Arachibutterophobia. The words are on the screen, guys. I don't know how you say it, but it's a fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. That is so specific. Like, it's not a fear of peanut butter. It's just of it sticking to your mouth.
Okay. But wouldn't it also be the same with like Nutella and spreads in general being stuck to the roof of your mouth?
Well, I don't know.
Why does it have to be peanut butter?
Well, it says it's a rare phobia that can stem from a greater phobia of sticky things or a fear of choking.
Yeah.
But that just seems really specific.
Very specific.
Yeah. One that you could never have is plutophobia.
What's that?
A fear of money.
Am I like the money channel or something? Is this what this is turning into? What the fuck?
I mean, you just...
Who said this to me?
Anything we talk about, your mind goes, how can I make money from this? Time travel van, how can I get rich?
Yeah, Beardo says this all the time.
That's all you ever think.
Just got to think.
You're just business minded, and it's a good thing. But if you had that fear, you'd be totally screwed because your entire life kind of, not in a materialistic way, but your life is very like money orientated.
Yeah, that's true.
If you had this, what would you do?
Probably be in a cardboard box, my PC in it, and hope for best. Be outside of McDonald's getting free Wi-Fi and free electricity in my cardboard box. Hoping for the best.
It says people with this may fear wealthy people or fear becoming wealthy themselves. They generally dread money and having to deal with it. They may potentially sabotage their careers to avoid making money or becoming wealthy. The fear of becoming wealthy may stem from a fear of the responsibilities and pressure associated with it, or the fear of being a victim of a robbery.
Bruh. So you're just scared of robberies then? Because there's no way.
It can stem from being scared of that, so you don't want to be caught with a lot of money. But, like, I get that, but being scared of money, like, imagine someone goes, oh, shit, yeah, no, you bought me something. You paid for food the other day. Online banking, because obviously you can't touch your notes. I owe you a tenner, here you go. What do? Like, do they just run away, or?
I have no words for this. Who sits there and wakes up in the morning and goes, You know when your alarm's going off at 8 o'clock and you sat there thinking to yourself, oh, I wish I could have an extra hour in bed. Oh, I wish I was a millionaire because then I wouldn't have to go to work every day. And then, no, don't want to be a millionaire. I want to get up today. Woo!
Well, yeah, but then they sabotage their job to avoid making money. Like, it's like, how are you going to live?
Charity
How are you gonna live
workers. Charity workers. Oh, wait, they get paid. Sorry to slam
That's an
all
odd
the
one,
charities
'cause, like,
out there.
how do you live? Like, if you had that fear that would screw with your life in so many ways, because like you have no money, so how do you buy food or pay for your house, or what do you do?
BENFITIS.
Yeah, but that's money.
Benefits.
Yeah, but that's money though. That's still money that you've got to deal with. I think it's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, but it's like necessarily to live, isn't it? Benefits. It'll give you enough to live.
Yeah, but if you're scared of money to that extent where you just don't want it at all, like, I don't know, I guess you just die. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, it's a weird one.
Oh, there's a lot of weird ones.
I just can't think of someone waking up in the morning and going, I don't fancy winning the lottery ever.
Yeah, that
All
could
of
never be
us,
me.
maybe about 4 times a month, sit there and go, if I won the lottery, what would I do? Then you look at £7 million asses and you're like, that one would be okay, but I'd want bigger.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
My red flag is looking on Rightmove at houses that cost like £53 million and then judging their interior design choices like I could ever afford to do any better.
Yeah.
But I'll look in there and I'll be like, I don't know, that room, that colour, I would do this, this and this. That table's got to go. And I'm like, the audacity of myself to do that, because I can't afford any of that furniture. But I will judge them heavily for it.
I did have a look. I just wanted to have a Saltburn house. Only because it's like a big, massive mansion with loads of land around it that's dead pretty.
I think I'd hate a big house though. If I had money, I'd want somewhere that I could live comfortably and it had everything in it that I wanted, but I wouldn't want massive.
Right.
Because, no, but hear me out, right? So you're in
Yeah.
bed at night and you're like, right, I want a drink of water or I need some juice. And you've got to walk like 6 miles to your kitchen. I couldn't do that.
Wes wouldn't
That's just a
worry
lot of
about
effort.
that. He'd have a Red Bull fridge on every hallway with an ice machine. Rich Wes won't worry about
Or
that.
you left something downstairs, you've gone to bed and you've left something, your phone in the kitchen and you're like, oh, I've got to go get it and it's going to take me 20 minutes because my house is
Jeeves!
so big.
Jeeves! Bring me my Telefonica.
If I was rich, one weird thing that I would hire someone for is to tickle my arm while I fall asleep. I would hire someone to sit by my bed and do that. And I would pay heavily for it.
Someone would probably do that and pay you for it. I'm not going to lie. You'd probably
If there's
find
anyone out there who wants to pay me to do that, I will happily accept that.
No, they would
When I
pay
first
you
got with my
to
partner,
do that to you.
I told him, I love having my arm tickled. You've got to do it all the time. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And you know how people kind of pretend to be someone different when they meet someone? And he tickled my arm a lot. And now it's probably been 7-8 months. And every time I ask, he won't do it. And I'm like, this relationship is breaking down. Okay.
And you have
Based
now
on this
found
alone-
out over the podcast. Unlucky. Goodbye
Like,
forever.
based on this alone, this ain't working, my guy. Like, I don't see a future where I'm not having my arm tickled. All right. Can't do it. Can't do it. I need it. I need it doing.
Yeah. If he's watching this right now, goodbye forever. You are no longer my partner or my fellow DJ. Walk
Well,
away.
If he gives me any other reason to break up with him,
He'll be done.
then yeah, because normally you wait till you've got a couple of reasons. You're like, oh, he does this and this and this. This is just like the arm tickles is already up here. All I need is one more thing just to rise that bar a little. But the man's a good one, so he's not giving me any reasons yet. We'll see.
Can't blame him for doing the job that he does well.
Yeah, he's a good partner, but just, tickle my arm more.
Yeah. Tickle her arm more. What you doing?
Like all the time.
You know what I mean?
Maybe he's got a fear of tickling my arm.
He could do. He could do. Or he might just not want to have you at ultimate satisfaction because of his thought levels of it. He wants to just keep you on the edge.
He's like, wait, if I set the bar too high,
yeah. Then I
if
might
she's
have
at her
to digress
happiest,
myself.
everything I do is going to be worse than that. So it's like, yeah, maybe he just feels like nothing that he does other than that is going to be good enough. And I see his point, because arm tickles are just top tier. Right?
Can
It's the
someone in
best
the
thing in the world.
comments just either confirm or deny this, please? Thank you.
It is the best thing in the world. Nothing beats it. Nothing. I don't care what you say. Nothing on this earth beats that feeling. You have a baby, you look at it and you're like, oh, I feel so much love. Arm tickles are better. I'm sorry, they are.
I know what my phobia was.
What was it?
A fear of having my hair too long.
Okay, that is a weird one. You said you didn't have any weird ones.
Yeah, well, now I'm thinking about it, maybe it is weird. That's why I always have my hair cut every week.
Wait, why are you scared of it though? Is it just scared that you don't think it looks right, or are you scared of...
I don't like how it feels. Because when it gets too long on the sides, I can feel it on my ear. Don't like that. Feels weird. Don't like that.
But is it a phobia? Like, is it like, if you couldn't get your hair cut for, I don't know, 10 weeks, someone told you barbers are shut and none of them are open?
Yeah, in lockdown, I was cutting my own hair in lockdown every day.
So it's like an actual fear, like you'll
now I'm
panic
thinking
over
about
it.
I was doing it quite a lot. Yeah, it was really bad during lockdown. I was just cutting my hair. I attempted to go bald a few times, but then I thought if I went bald, I don't think I'd ever go back. Which then would have been the end for everybody, because I can't look this good bald. You know what I mean? So all the women that watch the podcast, I'm sorry, you still have perfection.
It's not blonde anymore, but there is hair.
There's hair. It's not blonde anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a phobia? I don't like it. I never have it long.
Well, it depends. Is it something you
Ever.
don't like, or is it something you're scared of? Like, does it make you feel anxious, I guess is the way to describe a phobia.
I have it booked in.
Does it give you anxiety to deal with it?
I have it booked in at 11 o'clock every Thursday, every week. It never changes.
Every week?
Every week.
Bloody hell.
Maybe it is
Maybe
a phobia at that level, isn't it?
Yeah. At that point, because you've got such a structured routine of having it done.
Yep.
Like,
Even my barber messages me every week. Just standard conversation. Sometimes I bring him a coffee. Sometimes I tip him. Sometimes we have conversations. I'm building his PC for him. So I've got my next couple for free. So technically, yeah, it works out in my favour. For me, I know how to build a PC. He wants a PC building. I get free haircuts for a little bit. And I spend a lot of money on haircuts.
Win-win.
I spend a lot of money on haircuts. Yeah, I hate that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's maybe a little bit weird that I don't like.
I have a lot of weird things that I don't like, but maybe that's for another episode.
Yeah.
Because they're not phobias, they're just things that make me very uncomfortable.
Maybe.
And I mean, there's a lot of weird phobias we've got to go through.
I don't know. I think my hair is definitely one, especially to the extreme that I do it. People have a routine of going for every couple of weeks or something like that. I go every week religiously.
Yeah, like my man goes on a Tuesday every 4 weeks. So every fourth Tuesday. But that's because so his barber's is by his grand's house. And he goes to see her anyway. So he's like, you know, may as well. Like every 4 weeks is pretty standard anyway for a man. And he gets a beer with his. So his barber is a bar as well.
Yeah.
It's a really cool place. I love it there. And he pays for like his haircut and the price includes a drink.
Yeah.
And they have like different beers on tap every time. And he messages me every time he has a haircut and he's like, oh, I had this one today. It's so good. We need to try it. It's like, he just goes for a little beer taster session because he normally gets two. Instead of getting 1 pint, he gets 2 halves of 2 different ones.
Nice. I like how he rolls. And this is the thing. You build up a connection. A man and his barber, it's inseparable. I've been going to my barber now for 3 years. Since I went short on the top after lockdown. It was literally after lockdown I started going to him. It was probably a bit longer than that now. But yeah, I decided to change my hairstyle. I went short on top, like what it is now. So, but obviously with the cross straight across, I went for that look with all skin fade. Whereas before I had really long hair that I like pulled back or had it up.
I do feel like you do build a weird bond with the person who does your hair. So obviously I had my hair done yesterday.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, fresh trim. Don't know if you noticed. And it's like my hairdresser could ask me anything. As if, like, I've not known her that long. We don't talk away from the whole hairdressing side of things. But if she asks me anything personal, I feel like she's enough of a friend that I could just be an open book.
I agree.
And it's like, we talk about so many random things that are like, I wouldn't really bring up with friends. Not because they're embarrassing or bad or anything like that, but it's just, when you're just chatting to someone, especially someone who is in your personal space that much, you
Yeah.
just feel like on an emotional level with them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, when she's all there, like, massaging my head, I'm thinking, oh, I could fall in love with you, babe. Like, this is beautiful. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Love it. But back to the phobias.
Sorry, yeah.
So, xanthophobia.
What's that?
We're going to play a game here. You've got to guess what they are. If I say xanthophobia, what do you think it could be?
Fear of electricity.
No, it's a fear of the colour yellow.
What?
Yeah. A fear of the colour yellow. Any object that is yellow, such as school buses or flowers.
How?
I don't know why yellow specifically. Like, I don't know how you can be scared of a colour as well, because it's not like a physical thing. Like, my Hoover one, yeah, okay, it's weird. But that's a physical thing. It's noise. It's a distressing thing because of the noise and, I don't know, the movement of it. And it's just, I don't know, it freaks me out. But yellow doesn't do anything. It doesn't say anything, or it doesn't have an action or noise or even a taste. It's just yellow.
It's yellow.
And how do you avoid that? Like, you go on a webpage and there's a yellow, like, advert banner or whatever. What do you do?
Not a lot, clearly. What do you do? I don't even know what to say. I think it's absolutely baffling. I don't understand
That'd be such a weird one. Like, imagine someone buys you, like, I don't know, a scarf for your birthday. You get a pretty scarf and it's got, like, a mustard yellow colour in it. Imagine opening your birthday present, you're just opening it, and you just throw it at them and you're like, get it the fuck away from me. Like, you'd be well offended.
I'd be offended. Looks like your backlighting mustard yellow.
Yeah, if anyone here's got xanthophobia, I'm really sorry about that.
Is there any more?
Oh, there's so many, Wes. So many. I'm glad you asked. Ablutophobia.
Blue.
No. It's a fear of bathing.
I thought of another phobia of mine.
Oh, God, what is it?
Oh, yes. Fear of bathing. That's weird as shit.
I thought you were going to say that's yours. I was like,
No.
oh, God.
The fear of the unknown water.
Okay, that's a common one.
It is, but it's terrifying. Now, I only developed this recently, so not that long ago. About 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. That's when I got it. And I can remember because we did some cliff diving in Cornwall. We're just jumping into cliffs, didn't give a shit, blah, blah, blah. Stupidly deep water. And was doing it. I love doing all that stuff. I don't mind that. I'm really confident in water. Absolutely fine, not an issue. Now, the problem was, when I got back to land, everyone came up to me and was like, oh, you're all right, you're okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? What's up? They're like, did you see how many jellyfish were around you? I was like, no. There were hundreds. And they just all appeared after you jumped in. I was like, fuck that. No way. And when I went on holiday last year to wherever it was, Rhodes, and I was doing jet skiing and stuff like that, I was like, I'm not falling off this jet ski. I am not falling off this jet ski. I am not falling off this jet ski. Because it just looked pitch black below me. What is there? What is there?
Who knows?
Because you don't know. That's
Megalodons.
But for all you know, there could be a massive shark underneath you.
Oh, I
and you
100%
can't
think
see it.
megalodons are probably still a thing.
Exactly. So what happens if this massive creature, bearing in mind it only has to be in like 200 foot of water, which is...
Yeah, but just think, so obviously, like, don't they say like 90% of the ocean is unexplored or some crazy number like that? It's a big
Yeah.
number. A lot of it, right? Maybe it's like 99%, I don't know. But we don't know what's down there. However, what I would say to you with this fear is if we don't know what's down there, that's because no one's seen it. So why is it going to surface, especially for you? Like, I love you, but you ain't that special.
Or because the people haven't lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, but like if you're on a beach or around a populated area, like if there's something there, someone's going to have seen it.
People go missing all the time.
What, and you think Bruce the Shark's just come along and had him?
Could be Bruce the Shark.
They've not been
could
kidnapped. They've not been killed.
It
Just
could be
Bruce.
Sally the Squid. It could be whatever the flipping hell is underneath you. They're down with SpongeBob and Patrick's fishing in jellyfish fields.
See,
Fucking-
I get that. I say I'm not a strong swimmer. Well, I can't swim, so I'm definitely not a strong swimmer. I can float on my back. I can kind of move on my back. On my front, I can float, but I don't go anywhere. I don't have any motion. I don't go forward. It's really weird. No one can figure out why. So I've not been in like really deep open water.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether I'd have that fear or not.
It's the look of...
But I don't
know how to explain it.
I think it's more freaky to me. You go in like the beaches in the UK and you're in really shallow water and you're just like waddling along and then you feel a bit of seaweed in your toe. No. No, that's worse.
You know when you go to Caribbean countries or Jamaica, Dominican Republic...
I don't know because I'm too poor to do that, but please continue.
Any of these places, the water's pretty much clear as much as you can probably swim out.
Yeah.
To
See,
a degree.
you'd love Navagio Beach in Greece. You know where the shipwreck is?
Yes.
You'd love that. I've got a photo there. It looks like it's got a filter on. It hasn't. I've got a video as well. It is the clearest and bluest water I have ever seen. And even with your own eyes, you're looking at it and you think this has got a filter on it.
Yeah.
It's a filter in real life. It is insane.
Anything like that, not a problem. I will run through it, not an issue at all. Why am I thinking of all my phobias now? I do have another weird one as well, related as well.
I know what you mean. It's like the murky waters where you look down and you can't see like your legs on the bottom or whatever.
No. You don't know what's there. Could be anything. The fear of the
Yeah.
unknown in water is horrible. Like, what did they always use?
I imagine it's a bit similar to me in the dark.
Yeah.
If I'm in a room and it's light, it's fine. Even in my own bedroom, you turn that light off, my heart rate is shooting up. I am like, I gotta get out of here.
Or the stairs monster.
Okay, that's not even an irrational fear, right? This is just a very common thing. And my theory on it is there is actually something there. Because why has everyone around the world got this fear if there's nothing to be scared of?
Damn straight.
Nah, I don't care. The lights go off and you got to go up the stairs.
Quick.
You're walking up sideways, or you're back to the wall, or you're fucking legging it.
It's
They're
the,
your only two options.
It's the fall. It's the fucking on all fours running up the stairs as quick as you can.
Yeah.
That run.
And like, I'm sorry, but if you don't do that, you will die.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just a universal thing. So if there's nothing to be scared of, why is everyone scared of it? There's something out there. There is something that lives on people's stairs. Don't care what you say, it's true.
I agree. My other one is sand.
You're scared of sand.
Yeah, I think I am. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense.
I understand so I hate the feel of sand. Wet sand on my bare feet is fine. Dry sand, it is the worst thing in the world. I threw away a pair of shoes on holiday once because I couldn't get all the sand out. I scrubbed them and I could not get it out and I threw it away because
Doesn't
I
that
hate
start
it.
to become a phobia at that stage?
and it makes my hands feel dry and it's just, and it goes everywhere.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't say it's a phobia of me. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. But I think that's more to do with my sort of sensory issues rather than fear.
I hate it. All of it.
I think for me, it's definitely like a sensory thing.
Yeah, the feel of it, the fact it gets everywhere, the fact that...
It's when it gets under your nails and you can't get it out.
Yeah. See, I think this is more of a phobia. It's got to be. Because everything about it you hate.
The way I'd look at it, if it was a phobia, that would mean you'd go to a beach and you wouldn't go on the sand. You'd be terrified. You would not do it. That's the point. I'd say it's a phobia.
Maybe not then.
A phobia is like an irrational fear. It gives you really bad anxiety, like having to face it, having to do it.
Just hate it. If I never had to go on a beach ever again, that's fine.
We could do a whole episode on stuff that we like hate the feel of, or it's not really a phobia, but we don't like it. I feel like we need to do that because I know I've got a lot, and it sounds like you have.
Yeah, I think there is. The more I think about it, and the more we talk, more comes up. Like I said, I've mentioned one.
Make sure you write them down because we're going to do this.
Another, then on to another, then on to another. But
there's so many for me as well.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. Because there's got to be a bit of a line. But the sea one's definitely a phobia. I don't do it anymore. I can't go out in deep water now.
I've just seen one that...
This is about to offend some people, so please look away now.
Optophobia. What do you think that could be? Think of
glasses. Is it more simple?
It's to do with the eyes.
I don't know then.
Fear of opening one's eyes. So it's fear of opening your eyes, and it says, this fear can be extremely debilitating as it is hard for an individual to carry out daily activities without opening their eyes.
What the actual fuck? Right. If you are one of these people, and I'm saying this flat out right now, donate your eyes to blind people because they will clearly appreciate it more than you. I don't care if it's a fear. Fucking, there's so many blind people that would love to see. And motherfuckers are like...
Fear of opening your eyes. How do you do your hair or your makeup or make food? Like, you can't read the instructions. You get a microwave meal and you're like, oh, how long do I cook it for? What does a microwave look like? Don't know.
They probably just act like blind people. So they sit there like this and they're like...
That is so odd.
Microphone. Talk.
That is wild though, because like you said, like I get if it's a fear, like as we were saying earlier, you can't do anything about it. The way it makes you feel is horrendous. So yeah, I get it's, you know, I get why it could be a fear.
And how do you trigger that fear? Other than waking up in the morning.
It says, like many other rare phobias, this fear is usually the result of a traumatic incident. But I'm like, I can't think of a traumatic incident. Like, when you opened your eyes, how does opening your eyes make something bad happen? You could see something, but surely you'd have a phobia of whatever it is that you saw, not of opening your eyes. I don't see any scenario where you open your eyes and your life just dramatically goes downhill. Tell a lie. Open your eyes in the morning, my life definitely goes... like, mornings ain't for me. But not to the point where it's a fear. Don't particularly like waking up, but it's not fear.
Wow, that was dark. Real dark, real quick. Jesus.
Yeah, I just heard that another way, and I'm like, that was kind of dark.
Yeah.
I stand by it, but it was a bit dark.
By it, but it was a bit dark.
Like, it's a whole mood, you know, but it's a bit dark. Yeah, that's... Okay.
Have you got one more to finish on?
Got so many. What do you mean one more?
Come on, what's the last one? What's the last one you've got? And
probably the most ironic one out here.
Ironic? What's it called?
Hippopotamonstrosiquiptelophobia.
The fucking what?
Hippopotamonstrosiquiptelophobia.
Fuck knows.
Fear of long words.
Right, yeah, that seems fair, doesn't it?
Whoever came up with that name is a dick. I love that person, but you're a dick.
It's
That is great.
literally, it is literally the same of when they go to me. Do you have any? Issues with writing or reading, or is there anything you need any assistance with? Yeah, I have dyslexia, and they go, "Oh, just write it down on that sheet for me." I'm like, "What the fuck? How am I meant to spell that?"
So one of my friends, right, she's dyslexic, and like I know it's not massively funny, but it's funny when she does it because she can't get through a sentence without spelling something wrong.
That's me.
And all I do is just type the wrong word back to her in capital letters and put that little skull face emoji, and I just type it back to her. That's all. I don't reply to any of the message. I just send that back, and she gets so annoyed.
I bet you love it when I play Scribblio, don't you? Every time I spell it wrong, and then everyone goes, "I know how to spell it right," and spells it right, and then goes, "Wes, this is how you spell it," and I'm
Well, the
last.
worst bit is Wes will tell us the answer because he goes, "Oh, I don't know how to spell like I don't know."
Hippopotamus.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell hippopotamus. And we're like, "Cheers, Wes." But yeah, like she does that, and she used to write dyslexia or dyslexic without the S. So for a long time, her number was saved in my phone as dyslexic.
Wow.
And she was like, "I thought that's how it was spelled." I was like, "Okay."
I don't even
And
know
then
how
she
to spell
spelled
it now.
dyslexia, Dylexia. And I was like, this sounds like something a chav would name their kid. Dylexia.
That's how I would spell it. I'm not even bullshitting. That is literally how
Dylexia. I was
that's,
like, that is definitely a chav baby name. 100%.
that's probably how I would spell it. I'm trying to think of how to spell it now, and that's how I'm spelling
Well, I
it in my
mean-
mind.
That's very overcomplicated. There's a lot more letters than there needs to be.
They've just made it very difficult for no reason. That's what they've done. We're saying with hippopotamus.
Okay, so I was going to say it's not that difficult, but for someone without dyslexia, it's probably not, no. But it doesn't seem like an overcomplicated word to me.
Yeah, but like because I had to spell how to spell because is big elephants can't always use small exits. That's how I remember it.
See, we were always taught in school, big elephants cry and upset small elephants.
See, don't know why. That's how I remember it.
I've always been really good at like spelling and English stuff. You can't tell from how I speak because of where I'm from. But with like written English, I'm very good at. But I forgot what my point was here. I just sounds like I'm bigging myself up for no
But you're
reason
bad
now.
at
It was
maths.
leading on to something else. Oh, I'm terrible at maths. I can't do it.
That's the difference. People with dyslexia tend to be good at maths,
Yeah.
whereas obviously if you have dyspraxia, which is obviously having fear of numbers and issues with numbers, is then obviously they tend to be really good at English.
Is that actually what it's called though? Because I thought dyspraxia was.
Sure it is.
Let me just check. No, dyspraxia is a neurodevelopmental condition.
What's the one where you're not good with numbers?
Difficulty in performing coordinated movements. That's dyscalculia or something.
Oh, there you are then.
Dyscalculia or something
That
like that,
one.
I think.
Anyway,
That's basically dyslexia but with numbers,
correct. Yeah, yeah.
which I'm pretty sure I have.
Because what dyslexia does to you is your brain is like on like autocorrect mode. That's the easiest way to do it, or predictive text. That's how your brain works. So I'll read a story and I'll be reading it, and then my mind will skip ahead and automatically fill it in, and you'll go, where's it? Don't say that there. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, well, some people have it where like the letters seem to
Jump.
kind of move, or
Yeah.
they switch themselves around so they're in the wrong place, so it doesn't sound right or whatever. I don't get that with numbers, but so if you said to me what's 7 plus 3, I know that is 10 because 7 and 3 is 10, 6 and 4 is 10, 5 and 5 is 10. But if you said 5 and 7, I've got to work that out on my fingers.
Okay. Would you not just split into small numbers?
So depending how active my brain is
Or
and how
make them
well it's
all
working
even.
that day, what I would sometimes do is round 7 up to 10. So I do 5 plus 10, and I know that 7 is 3 less because I know 7 plus 3 is 10. So I'll take away the 3. but sometimes that's just a bit too much for my little brain to handle. So when I play Uno with my partner, we love a good card game, right?
Love a good card
Obviously, you add
game.
up the points at the end.
Yep.
And when he wins and I have to give him my cards to add up, I'll give him an 8 and a 2. And I'm like, 10, 7 and a 3, 20, like 4 and a 6, 30. And then I've got a 5, 7, a 6 and a 2 left. Like, none of them I can make to 10. I just give him the cards.
Yeah.
Because my brain shuts down. I look at those numbers, I'm like, I don't know how to do this math. And I just hand him the cards. So I count up the ones I can easily do.
Yeah.
And then I just give him the rest. And the first few times, he's like, go on, you can do it. And I'm like, no, I can't.
Should say
can't
more
do it.
angry than that.
Whereas now, he just takes the cards off me and carries on at it because he knows that I can't do it.
Yeah.
My brain ain't braining.
Braining.
So yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, this has been an interesting episode, hasn't it? Talking about our movie and talking about everything else in between, and then talking about all our irrational fears and how they make us feel, with a few good stories in between. Hopefully you've all been watching along with every episode that has come out so far in our new series of 2024, Chapter 2. Ooh, Chapter 2, What This Time podcast. Every single Sunday on YouTube. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, and make sure you've got notifications on to keep you in touch for every single time that we upload a video. Because even though you know our schedule, you never know when it's going to come out. It's always going to be around the 8 o'clock time, if not sometimes a little bit later. Because unfortunately, YouTube decides when it wants to post. It's never
Drives me
simple.
mad.
It's never
So-
simple.
The posts do come out on time, usually. However, the HD version, so I've done it a few times and it's like, oh, it'll take an extra 2 hours. So I'm like, cool, I'll upload the video for like 8 p.m, but I'll actually upload it at 6 because it takes 2 hours. And then last week I went to do it and it's like, this is going to take 6 hours. And I'm like, well, okay then, you do you, boo, because, you know, whatever.
Zero fucks.
So yeah, the HD version may be a little bit later.
Potentially.
But the video will be out at 8. If you can suffer through standard def, go for it. It'll be there at 8.
It'll be there at 8. But you'll always have unlimited supply to us. Just saying.
We do need to pick a movie. I do have one that I watched the other day. I hadn't seen it for years, and I rewatched it. And it's very good, I think.
This is where she goes for Barbie Part 2. Ken loses the
never seen Barbie.
playhouse. Well, go on then.
Well, there's 2 actually.
Hannah
I'll let
Montana
you choose.
the movie.
I really want to watch that one, but whatever. So there's 2. I'm going to let you choose. Red Eye or Oblivion.
Oh, watched Oblivion before. Oblivion.
I've seen that movie so many times and I still don't understand what the fuck's going on. But it's a great film.
Yeah. Check one film for me.
Okay.
Interstellar.
Bear with.
All right. I'm only saying that because we've both watched Oblivion.
This might be handy for you because this website actually has Are There Spiders as one of the...
Does it actually?
It does.
Trying to think if that one does. I don't know if it does.
It says no.
I don't think it does.
So,
She's
apparently
reading
there's
the
scenes
blurb.
where you think it's going to happen and people get paranoid, but it is completely safe. So that one is fine, yeah.
Okay. Only reason
could
I'm
do
saying this, so what was the other one that you said?
Red Eye.
And you've watched it?
I watched it a lot when I was younger, but I was too young to really understand it. So I rewatched it last weekend with my partner. I'd
Okay.
happily rewatch it again to refresh my mind. I like watching stuff that I've already watched.
What
so
is
that's
it?
fine. So I wouldn't recommend watching the trailer because my partner did that and I was like, this is basically just telling you the whole film.
Okay.
It's basically this woman I don't know how to say it without ruining. It's a bit of a twist, but it's very early on in the film, so I don't know.
Right, is it a comedy? Is it an action? Is it a horror?
No. So it's this woman on a plane, and there's this guy, and he's being all friendly and nice to her, and she's chatting to him. And then as they get on the plane, they take off, and he's like, "Right, you need to do something for me. I'm not going to tell you what, but you need to do something. You need to make a call and sort something for me. I've got a guy outside your dad's house. I'm going to kill him if you don't do it." And it sounds really shit, but the whole film is like their set budget would have been well cheap because it's literally just set on a plane and then a little bit at a house. But yeah,
Okay.
and it's basically her trying to get out of it, but him being an absolute tool. It's that Cillian Murphy dude, so he's got beautiful blue eyes, so it's fine.
Perfect. So what we'll do is then this week we'll watch what's it called again? Red Eye.
Yeah. So do you want to do that this week, and then we'll do Interstellar for the week after?
Interstellar for the week after. I think if you liked Oblivion, you'll like Interstellar. It's good films.
Okay. So that's the next 2 weeks done. If you guys have any recommendations for us, please drop them in the comments.
Other than that,
And watch these films along with us.
yeah.
We want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, do watch them with us. Don't be afraid to put your favourite movie in there because we will 100% watch it.
Especially if it's Hannah Montana movie.
Don't do that to me, man.
Especially.
Don't do that to me. Don't do it.
If someone puts it in the comments, will you agree to watch it and do a little review on it?
As long as it's not you or your fella.
Okay, there you go, guys. Put it in the comments.
Or anybody within our friends group.
I can make it happen. Okay.
But I promise I will do it if that's the case. There we are then.
Okay.
That's it for this week's episode. Anything else to say, Ellie?
That's all from me.
That's all. In a bizzle, peeps. Woo!